Denver, where these tiny homes will open up to homeless individuals tomorrow. You can see each one of them has a bed and a desk. Also, each one has a heater, which will certainly be nice this week with the weather moving in on Thursday. This micro community is part of the mayor's plan to get 2,000 people off the streets of Denver by the end of this year. At the moment, there are 60 tiny homes in this micro community, expandable up to 120 in the future.
We will do intakes tomorrow when people arrive here and start connecting to people with services right away. We also will have on-site peer counselors, case managers, resource navigators, and all those services will be here from the get-go.
So once again, the door is open. This micro community will open to homeless individuals tomorrow. The mayor's office says they plan to close an encampment down over at Umatilla and Colfax and move those individuals to this micro community. As many as 49 will move in tomorrow as the mayor hopes to help them get back on their feet. I'm Russell Haythorne for Denver 7.
You see it, we gotta do it. Because if you don't know, many cities across the country, they're pushing to put tiny homes in place. Yes, you heard me. Many cities. And stay with us because we're going to look at cities all across America today that's putting in place tiny villages, communities, housing, whatever you want to call it. It's the new projects. Okay? Pay attention because they said this has been exploding since 2022, since the migrants came. Tap in, tap in. Let's take a look at the cost because this is opening up in Denver and people are moving fast to fill these new tiny homes. So they're saying that this is something that's irreversible. This is the future, y'all. Tiny homes are the future. Let's take a look at the cost.
Tiny homes are an important part of Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's homelessness plan. So tonight we are getting a better sense of just how much these micro communities would cost. Denver 7's Brandon Richard has tonight's follow-up.
We are facing a national housing emergency. People experiencing homelessness need a shelter that is better than a sidewalk and faster than the permanent solutions that can take months or even years to build.
A Washington state-based social purpose company known as Pallet could be weeks away from shipping hundreds of tiny homes like these to Denver. The mayor's office is asking the city council to approve a $7 million contract with Pallet for 200 tiny homes. Pallet says its tiny homes are prefabricated and can be assembled in under an hour. They'd be located in 3 micro communities with plans to expand from there.
We're looking to create 7 to 10 micro communities, and so that's sort of the scale that we're looking at.
Colt.
What? We got to stop right there and let you hear that again. They're expecting to build 7 of these, all right? To get 200 of these cost $7 million. $7 million to build out these communities, and they plan on building out up to 7. This is happening all across the country, right under your nose. The new projects. Yes. Gone are the days of encampment sites. This is the new projects, y'all. This is what it is for the future.
Micro communities, and so that's sort of the scale that we're looking at.
Colt Chandler, the mayor's senior advisor on homelessness, says they're also looking for organizations to operate the micro communities and to provide wraparound services to help residents get back on their feet.
Basically, we're asking organizations to bid and let us know what it takes to serve these communities.
The mayor has pledged to put a micro community in every council district, but Councilwoman Amanda Sawyer says there's not a lot of city-owned land in her district.
It's parkland. Under our zoning code, you cannot build a micro community on it.
The mayor says a list of locations is still being finalized. He says his team is also in talks to build some of the micro communities on privately owned land.
It's one of the reasons why we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes right now is we don't obviously want to publicly release information about private landowner sites unless we've talked to them, gotten their feedback, and seen their openness.
The mayor's homelessness advisor will provide more details on plans for the micro communities when he appears before the council Tuesday. In Denver, Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Thanks, Brandon.
What? You hear it there. They're planning to build out 7 of these, regardless if they do it on public land or private land. They're planning to roll out 7 of these, okay? Little tiny homes, okay? So let's take a look at Seattle, because this is happening all across America. Let me know your thoughts. Will you be moving in, or how do you feel about people moving in? Migrants, they ain't going nowhere, because trust me, they're going to be in these tiny homes.
New neighbors in Seattle's Rainier Valley.
Tiny houses save lives.
South Henderson Street is the new home to this tiny house village and the individuals, couples, and families who will live here. People like Savannah Morris and her daughter, who moved to Washington in 2023.
If it wasn't for the organization, I would probably still be homeless. You know what I mean? Because it was at a point where I didn't know where I was going to go.
The Low Income Housing Institute owns this land. The organization has future plans to develop the space into affordable housing. For now, 42 tiny houses fill this village, equipped with shared community spaces.
And then we have a kitchen, community center, laundry, hygiene, and most importantly, case management offices.
A tiny solution to a seemingly endless problem.
We have this horrendous homelessness crisis.
2023 was the worst year on record for deaths of people living outside in King County. The medical examiner's office says 415 unsheltered people lost their life, up from 309 in 2022. And more people are coming to the area almost daily, seeking asylum from their home countries, including Venezuela, Angola, and Congo. Most of them in tents outside the Riverton Park United Methodist Church in Tequila.
There were as many as 500 people camping outdoors.
Because of the crisis around the asylum seekers and refugees, we are setting 10 of the tiny houses aside for homeless families, asylum seekers.
Last year, the organization helped move almost 1,400 people into tiny homes in King County.
Homelessness is solvable.
These villages are no guarantee of success when it comes to transitioning people off the streets. A 2022 USC study found that in about 75% of cases, residents fail to find permanent arrangements. But that's
What? Yes, they failed to find permanent arrangements. That's why they're coming to you. Now, many people said this is going to be a problem because this is going to be the future. This is going to be the future. People are going to be sent to these tiny homes. You hear in Denver, they plan to build out 7 communities with 200 homes each. I mean, what? This is happening all across D.C., Maryland, Arizona, Florida. There's no state safe. Let's take a look at L.A. This is happening in Vegas. I mean, what?
Find homes. For decades, in Los Angeles has struggled to confront its homeless crisis, but a new transitional housing project has the mayor hailing the program as the city's best hope for change. Vibrant tiny home villages have been popping up in neighborhoods around the city, offering shelter, security, and pathways to more permanent housing for those looking to get back on their feet.
I ain't gonna lie, at least L.A., their tiny homes got some flavor. Look at their homes. They got colorful, they got art. LA is crazy. I would like to see Miami's tiny homes, but these things are everywhere. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is like permanent? Wow. Things that make you say what?
Shelter, security, and pathways to more permanent housing for those looking to get back on their feet. ABC's Will Carr reports.
We have some stuff. So come on.
It's been 2 months since Roya Shorts moved into her new apartment, and she says every day with a permanent roof over her head is a blessing.
Beautiful, thank you. I'm so thankful, and God bless all of you. Tonight I'm gonna sleep very good. Thanks to you guys.
Bed to sleep in, a kitchen table to eat on, a sofa to lay on. Just a short time ago, these were all basic living essentials that were out of reach for Roya. Last year, she found herself struggling to make ends meet amid the pandemic and a sudden loss of household income. She and her adult son were forced to move out of their Southern California home. To survive, they started living in her car, and she didn't know where to turn.
I thought, what are we gonna do? I was sitting and sleeping for a whole year. Homeless people living is very hard. You have to look for bathroom, you have to look for the shower, you have to look for food. It's hard, it's not easy.
Roya eventually spoke with a social worker who told her about a new program offering homeless city dwellers a small, clean, air-conditioned space to stay temporarily. She says she didn't know what to expect when she pulled up with her son, but once she stepped out of the car, there was an unmistakable sense of community.
They take care of you like their own family. It's safe. We have a roof on our head. We can lock the door. We have bathroom, shower.
Roya is one of hundreds of formerly homeless Angelenos who have flocked to the city's tiny village housing projects. The program launched this spring with just a single collection of 40 colorful homes in North Hollywood. Since then, the program has expanded to neighborhoods throughout the city.
What? You heard it there. It expanded throughout neighborhoods throughout LA. It just started with 40. Now they can't stop. This is happening all over. Did you know about this? All over America, y'all. We could go for days. Let's just head up to Seattle and see how. Actually, let's just go out to Portland.
Safe Rest Villages currently provide 88 total spaces for the homeless. Fox 12's Carly Olson is live at one of those sites now with the details. Carly?
Pete and Riel here at the Multnomah Safe Rest Village on Southwest Multnomah Boulevard. They plan to expand it from 28 tiny homes to 100. But neighbors who live nearby say they've had some negative experience.
You heard that. We up in Portland now, y'all. This is not the same video. Stay with us. We could go all around the map. This is Portland. They're expanding it up to 100 everywhere across America. They're expanding and building out these small communities. What does that say about housing? It's a mess in the United States, y'all.
To 100, but neighbors who live nearby say they've had some negative experiences and they just want to make sure this expansion is done properly.
It really exponentially increases the possibility for a negative impact on the neighborhood.
The Multnomah Safe Rest Village was the first to open a couple of years ago, and since then, neighbor Patrick Brunette has noted a few things.
I've heard many stories of drug use, drug paraphernalia, noise, fights, people having mental health crises.
With the upcoming expansion, he's been talking to neighbors about their experiences and urging the city to put stronger protections in place for activities outside the village.
They say we can only concentrate on what's going on inside the SRV. And I think a lot of the reporting falls on the neighbors to call 311 or use PDX Reporter. And sometimes that's a bit of a black box, and you kind of hope for the best.
Wow. You see it there. This is Portland, y'all. Listen, the move might be to buy some land and start building out small communities, because you can get these little huts from about $7,000. I might have to buy some land and think about building my own village. Would y'all come to my village? What TV village, man? Everything's all good. Free Wi-Fi.
Enough. Development of tiny homes is now open in Boyle Heights. The city says it will provide vital housing solutions for the community and a very special group of performers.
The gift of music. Mariachis make their living bringing us joy. But during the pandemic, many musicians had no work because of COVID lockdowns.
That means you have no money to pay the rent. That means you have no money to put food on the table.
Which is why a special section of this new tiny home village unveiled today in Boyle Heights will be a temporary home for mariachis and their families.
We're going to reserve a corner of this tiny home village for Boyle Heights for mariachis who are currently experiencing homelessness.
Along with the corner units for mariachis, there will be room for many more families.
We are fortunate enough to house 144 clients, so that's about 74 units, 2 to each room.
It's one huge step forward to provide a modicum of dignity and respect. Quite simply, just putting a roof over their head.
It's the third homelessness project in Kevin De Leon's council district.
So we can have clean streets, safe streets, so our unhoused neighbors can be safe, with heaters, with showers, with bathrooms, with meals, as well as a locked door.
Wow. You heard it there. This is the third community they're building out in this district, y'all. Let me tell you, we could go on for days, so pay attention because a lot of people don't know about this. This is the new projects, the new way of living. We might have to get some land somewhere so we can start building our own communities. I'm thinking about going down to Florida because, man, I'm telling you, this is the new trend and the new way of living for the future. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know your thoughts. I mean, wow. We into tiny homes now? The projects is like luxury. Let me know your thoughts.